Let me ask you something. How many of you have ever felt like the world is moving faster than you can keep up? Like no matter how hard you try, things keep changing and you're stuck playing catch up. Listen, the truth is the game has changed. The old rules don't work anymore. You either adapt, grow, and take control, or you struggle, fall behind, and get left in the dust. But here's the good news. Success isn't about luck, intelligence, or even talent. It's about mastering 3 powerful skills that will make you unstoppable in any environment. Who's ready to step up? Change is inevitable, but growth is a choice. That's the reality of the world we live in today. Everything around us is evolving at lightning speed. Technology, industries, job markets, and even the way we communicate and connect with each other. Yet, despite this undeniable truth, many people still resist change. They cling to old ways of thinking, outdated skills, and a comfort zone that no longer serves them. And here's what happens when you resist change. You don't just stand still, you get left behind. Think about it. The businesses that refuse to embrace digital transformation are gone. The professionals who thought they could rely on a single degree for a lifetime of success are struggling. The individuals who ignored the rise of AI and automation are now watching their jobs disappear. But on the flip side, the people who saw change coming and adapted to it are thriving. They didn't wait for things to settle down or for someone to give them permission to evolve. They took action, embraced uncertainty, and positioned themselves ahead of the curve. That's the key difference. Change is happening whether you like it or not. It's out of your control. But what is within your control is how you respond to it. Growth is a choice. It's a decision you make every single day to either step up and evolve or stay the same and struggle. The people who succeed don't just react to change, they anticipate it, they prepare for it, and when it comes, they don't resist it, they leverage it. Look at the biggest success stories in history. Every great innovator, entrepreneur, and leader had one thing in common: they adapted. They understood that what worked yesterday won't necessarily work tomorrow. They didn't just rely on what they knew. They continuously expanded their knowledge, refined their skills, and reinvented themselves when necessary. That's the mindset you need if you want to thrive in today's world. Now, let's get real. Change is uncomfortable. Growth isn't easy. There's a reason why most people avoid it, requires effort, resilience, and sometimes even failure. But here's the truth. Staying the same is even harder. Struggling because you refuse to adapt is painful. Watching opportunities slip away because you weren't willing to evolve is frustrating. Feeling stuck in a world that keeps moving forward is a recipe for regret. So what's the alternative? The alternative is to take control, to see change as an opportunity rather than a threat, to develop the mindset and skills that allow you to not only survive in an unpredictable world, but to thrive in it. Because when you stop fearing change and start embracing it, something incredible happens. You stop being a victim of circumstances and start being the creator of your own success. It all starts with a decision to stop waiting, stop hesitating, and start growing. A decision to develop new skills, expand your knowledge, and push yourself beyond your comfort zone. A decision to adapt, not just when you're forced to, but proactively, because you know that the future belongs to those who are ready for it. And let's be clear, adapting doesn't mean you have to change who you are at your core. It means upgrading yourself. It means becoming more resilient, more resourceful, and more prepared for whatever comes next. It means shifting your mindset from fear to confidence, from doubt to action, from resistance to opportunity. So ask yourself right now, are you choosing growth or are you choosing struggle? Are you embracing change or are you resisting it? Because at the end of the day, your success isn't determined by what's happening in the world, it's determined by how you respond to it. And if you want to win in today's world, there's only one real option: adapt, evolve, and take control of your future. Most people don't fail because they lack intelligence, talent, or opportunity. They fail because they let their emotions control them. Fear, doubt, frustration, and anxiety become the driving forces behind their decisions, or worse, their inaction. The truth is, in a world that is constantly changing, where uncertainty is the only guarantee, the most powerful skill you can develop is emotional mastery. Because if you don't control your emotions, they will control you. Think about it. How many times have you seen someone give up on a dream, not because they weren't capable, but because they were afraid of failure? How often do people hesitate to take action? Not because they don't have the skills, but because they're drowning in self-doubt. Fear paralyzes. It stops people from trying, from pushing forward, from stepping into the unknown. But here's what the most successful people understand. Fear is just an emotion, and like any emotion, it can be managed. Emotional mastery is not about suppressing your emotions or pretending they don't exist. It's about understanding them, using them, and redirecting them in a way that serves you instead of limiting you. Fear, for example, can either freeze you in place or fuel you to take action. Stress can either break you or sharpen your focus. Frustration can either drain your energy or push you to find new solutions. The difference lies in how you interpret and respond to those emotions. People who thrive in high-pressure situations, who succeed despite challenges, are not emotionless robots. They feel the same fear, the same doubt, and the same frustration as everyone else. But instead of letting those emotions dictate their actions, they channel them. They train themselves to recognize when fear is trying to hold them back, and instead of listening to it, they push through. They understand that emotions are signals, not commands. Just because you feel something doesn't mean you have to act on it. This is why emotional mastery is so crucial in a changing world. The faster things evolve, the more uncertainty you'll face. If your emotions run your life, you'll hesitate, second guess yourself, and stay stuck while the world moves forward without you. But if you take control, if you train yourself to stay calm under pressure, to turn fear into focus, to use frustration as fuel, you become unstoppable. Now let's talk about how you actually develop this skill, because emotional mastery isn't something you're born with. It's something you build. First, you have to become aware of your emotions. Most people let their feelings dictate their actions without even realizing it. The moment you feel resistance, hesitation, or fear creeping in, stop and recognize it. Ask yourself, what is this emotion trying to tell me? Is it protecting me or is it limiting me? Just this awareness alone gives you power over your emotional state. Second, reframe the way you experience emotions. Fear is just excitement without breath. Anxiety is often just energy with no clear direction. Instead of saying I'm scared, try saying I'm excited for the challenge. Instead of saying I'm stressed, say I'm sharpening my focus. The way you label your emotions determines how you respond to them. Third, train yourself to take action despite emotion. The best way to break free from fear and doubt is to prove to yourself that you don't have to listen to them. The more you take action despite feeling afraid, the more you build confidence in your ability to handle anything. This is how emotional resilience is built. By consistently choosing action over hesitation, courage over comfort, and momentum over stagnation. The reality is, the world is not going to slow down for you. Uncertainty is not going away. The only thing that will change is how you handle it. And that starts with mastering your emotions instead of being controlled by them. Because once you do that, nothing can stop you. The ability to learn quickly and continuously is no longer optional. It's the most valuable skill you can have in today's world. Everything is evolving at a rapid pace. Technology is advancing. Industries are transforming. And the rules that once defined success are being rewritten. The people who rise to the top are not the ones with the most experience or the most credentials. They are the ones who can adapt, grow, and reinvent themselves over and over again. The key to staying relevant, thriving, and leading in any field is to become a lifelong learner. For years, people were taught a simple formula. Go to school, get a degree, find a stable job, and work until retirement. That formula is dead. Knowledge has an expiration date. What you learned 5 or 10 years ago may already be outdated today. The professionals who thought one degree would secure their future are now watching entire industries shift, leaving them behind. Meanwhile, those who embrace continuous learning are stepping into new opportunities, mastering emerging skills, and positioning themselves for long-term success. Learning today is not just about formal education. It's about developing the ability to absorb, process, and apply new information faster than ever before. It's about being curious, resourceful, and proactive in acquiring knowledge. It's about recognizing that your growth doesn't stop when you graduate. It starts the moment you decide to take control of your learning journey. The people who thrive in this new world are obsessed with learning. They don't wait for someone to teach them. They seek out information, experiment with new ideas, and surround themselves with people who challenge their thinking. They understand that knowledge alone is not enough. It's applied knowledge that creates results. Reading a book doesn't change your life unless you implement what you've learned. Taking a course doesn't make you valuable unless you apply the skills in the real world. One of the biggest obstacles to continuous learning is the mindset that I already know enough. The moment you believe you have nothing left to learn is the moment you start falling behind. The most successful people, regardless of how much they've achieved, never stop being students. They approach life with humility, always looking for ways to improve, refine, and expand their understanding. They know that the second they stop learning, they start becoming obsolete. But here's the challenge. Most people want to learn, but they don't make it a priority. They tell themselves they're too busy. They say they'll start later. They let distractions, comfort, and routine get in the way of growth. But learning doesn't have to be time-consuming. It's not about cramming information. It's about creating consistent habits that allow you to grow every single day. Whether it's reading for 20 minutes, listening to podcasts during a commute, watching educational videos instead of scrolling through social media, or surrounding yourself with people who push you to think bigger, learning is something you build into your lifestyle. The key is to learn with purpose. Don't just consume random information. Focus on skills that will move you forward. What do you need to learn to take your career to the next level? What skills will set you apart in your industry? What knowledge will help you solve bigger problems, provide more value, and increase your impact? Identify these areas and be relentless in mastering them. Another powerful way to accelerate learning is by teaching what you know. When you teach, you reinforce your own understanding and deepen your expertise. You don't have to be an expert to share what you've learned. Just being one step ahead of someone else means you have value to offer. And the more you teach, the more confident and skilled you become. The world belongs to those who can adapt, grow, and reinvent themselves. The opportunities of the future will not go to those who cling to old knowledge, but to those who are willing to evolve. Your ability to learn is your greatest asset. Commit to it, prioritize it, and make it a lifelong habit. Because in the end, the most successful people are not the ones who know the most, but the ones who never stop learning. Success is not determined by intelligence alone. You've seen it yourself. Some of the smartest people in the world struggle to achieve their goals, while others with fewer resources, less education, or seemingly fewer advantages rise to the top. Why? Because intelligence without resilience is useless. The ability to adapt, recover, and push forward in the face of adversity is what separates those who thrive from those who fade into the background. We live in a world that is unpredictable. No matter how well you plan, challenges will arise, setbacks will happen, things will not always go your way. The people who succeed are not the ones who avoid failure. They are the ones who refuse to be broken by it. They take every obstacle, every rejection, every mistake, and use it as fuel to get better. They don't crumble under pressure. They rise because of it. Think about the most successful people in any field. Entrepreneurs, athletes, artists, leaders. Their stories are not filled with overnight success. They are filled with struggles, failures, and moments when they could have given up, but didn't. They pushed through when others would have quit. They kept going when things got hard. And that resilience became their greatest advantage. Resilience is not just about enduring hardship. It's about how you respond to it. When life knocks you down, do you stay down or do you get back up stronger? Do you see failure as the end, or do you see it as a lesson? The people who struggle the most are often the ones who fear failure, who take every setback personally, who let obstacles define them. But those who rise, they see failure as feedback. They extract the lesson, adjust their strategy, and move forward with even more determination. The good news is resilience is a skill. It can be developed. And it starts with how you frame challenges in your mind. If you see difficulties as proof that you're not good enough, you'll feel stuck. But if you see them as stepping stones to growth, you'll become unstoppable. Every challenge is an opportunity to become stronger, wiser, and more prepared for the next level. One of the biggest mistakes people make is thinking that avoiding failure is the key to success. It's not. The key is building the strength to overcome failure faster. Some of the greatest breakthroughs happen right after the biggest setbacks, but only if you keep going. The problem is most people quit too soon. They let one rejection, one disappointment, or one tough situation convince them that they're not capable, and that's why they never reach their full potential. To build resilience, you need to start seeing yourself as someone who overcomes. No matter what happens, no matter how hard things get, you need to make a decision. I will not quit. I will not back down. I will find a way forward. That mindset alone puts you ahead of 90% of people, because most people give up the moment things get uncomfortable. But discomfort is where growth happens. The more you push through, the stronger you become. Another key to resilience is controlling your focus. When things go wrong, most people focus on what's missing, what's unfair, or what they can't change. But winners focus on what they can do. They ask themselves, what's the next step? How can I turn this around? What's the lesson here? That shift in focus keeps them moving forward instead of dwelling on the past. And let's be real, resilience is not about pretending things are easy. It's about developing the mental toughness to face challenges without losing momentum. It's about knowing that setbacks are temporary, but your response to them will shape your future. You can either let obstacles break you, or you can use them to build yourself into someone even stronger. The choice is always yours. Success doesn't come from wishing, hoping, or waiting for the right moment. It comes from taking massive, decisive action. In a world that is constantly changing, the people who get ahead are not the ones who sit back and analyze every possible outcome before making a move. They are the ones who act, adjust, and keep moving forward no matter what. They don't wait for the stars to align, for the economy to improve, or for someone to give them permission. They create their own momentum by taking bold steps, even when the path isn't clear. One of the biggest reasons people struggle is because they get stuck in analysis paralysis. They overthink, second-guess themselves, and hesitate until the opportunity passes them by. They convince themselves that they need more information, more time, or more certainty before they can begin. But the truth is, the perfect time never comes. The people who succeed are not the ones who have everything figured out from the start. They are the ones who are willing to take action despite uncertainty. Action creates clarity. You don't need to know every step of the journey before you begin. You just need to start. The first step opens up new possibilities that you wouldn't have seen if you had waited. The mistake most people make is thinking they need confidence before they take action. But confidence comes from action. The more you do, the more you learn, and the more certainty you build. Another trap that holds people back is perfectionism. They tell themselves, I'll start when I'm ready, or I'll launch this idea when it's perfect. But perfection is an illusion. It keeps people stuck, tweaking, adjusting, and waiting for a version of perfect that never arrives. The most successful people know that progress beats perfection every time. They launch, they test, they improve as they go. They understand that the faster they take action, the faster they get results, and results provide feedback, which leads to better decisions. The key is to develop a bias for action. This means training yourself to move quickly, to make decisions, and to execute instead of just planning. It doesn't mean being reckless or thoughtless. It means trusting yourself enough to take the first step and adapt along the way. Think about the most successful entrepreneurs, athletes, or creators. They didn't just think about their goals. They attacked them with relentless action. They didn't wait until they felt 100% ready. They started before they were ready. But taking action isn't just about doing random things. It's about taking massive, focused action. Small, hesitant steps don't create breakthroughs. If you want to achieve something big, you need to take bold, decisive steps that push you out of your comfort zone. That means reaching out to the people who can help you, launching the project you've been postponing, making the investments in yourself that will accelerate your growth. It means doing things even when they scare you. Fear is one of the biggest reasons people hesitate to take action. They fear failure, rejection, embarrassment, or making the wrong decision. But here's what most people don't realize. Inaction is the biggest risk of all. When you don't take action, you're not staying safe, you're falling behind. Every day you wait, someone else is moving forward. Every moment you hesitate, an opportunity is passing you by. The longer you delay, the harder it becomes to start. Momentum is one of the most powerful forces in success. The more you act, the easier it becomes to keep going. That's why the hardest part is always the beginning. But once you push past that initial resistance, things start to flow. Action fuels motivation, not the other way around. You don't wait to feel motivated. You create motivation by taking action. So ask yourself right now, where in your life are you hesitating? What have you been putting off, overthinking, or waiting for the right time to do? Because the right time is now. The future belongs to the action takers, the risk takers, and the people who refuse to sit on the sidelines. If you want success, there's only one way to get it. Stop waiting and start doing. Your environment shapes you more than you realize. The people you spend the most time with, the information you consume, and the habits you reinforce every day are either pushing you toward success or pulling you away from it. If you want to grow, evolve, and stay ahead in a changing world, you must be intentional about who and what influences you, because whether you recognize it or not, your surroundings are constantly shaping your mindset, your decisions, and ultimately your future. Look around at the 5 people you spend the most time with. Are they pushing you to be better, or are they keeping you stuck? Are they inspiring you, challenging you, and supporting your growth, or are they negative, stagnant, and holding you back with their own fears and limitations? The reality is, your inner circle determines your standards. If you surround yourself with people who think small, play it safe, and make excuses, you will unconsciously adopt the same mindset. But if you surround yourself with driven, ambitious, and growth-focused individuals, you will naturally start to rise to their level. This is why successful people are obsessive about who they allow into their lives. They don't waste time with negativity, gossip, or low-energy conversations. They actively seek out mentors, leaders, and high performers who challenge them to think bigger and do more. They understand that their success is directly tied to the quality of the people they associate with. Because when you are around those who are constantly learning, growing, and pushing their limits, you start to do the same. But your environment isn't just about people. It's also about what you feed your mind. The books you read, the podcasts you listen to, the content you consume daily, it all programs your thinking. Most people fill their minds with distractions, entertainment, and news designed to create fear and anxiety. They scroll endlessly through social media, comparing themselves to others, consuming mindless content, and wondering why they feel stuck. But those who rise above, they choose their influences deliberately. They read books that expand their thinking. They listen to voices that inspire them. They seek out knowledge that helps them grow. If you want to succeed, you must curate your environment like your future depends on it, because it does. Take control of what you allow into your mind. Remove negativity, distractions, and anything that drains your energy. Replace them with influences that empower you, educate you, and elevate you. Build a routine where personal growth is a priority, because in a world that's changing fast, the only way to stay ahead is to constantly evolve. Another powerful way to upgrade your environment is to put yourself in rooms where growth is the standard. Attend events, join masterminds, engage in conversations with people who are further ahead than you. When you expose yourself to higher levels of thinking, it forces you to elevate your own game. You begin to see what's possible. You start believing bigger, setting higher goals, and operating at a level you never thought you could. But here's the truth. Changing your environment is not always easy. Sometimes it means letting go of relationships that no longer serve you. It means stepping away from people who are comfortable with mediocrity, even if you care about them. It means saying no to distractions, even when they seem harmless. Growth requires tough choices. But the alternative? Staying in the same place, repeating the same patterns, and wondering why nothing changes. You don't become successful by accident. You become successful by designing your life for growth. That means being ruthless about who and what influences you. It means creating an environment where success is inevitable. Because when you surround yourself with the right people, fill your mind with the right knowledge, and eliminate everything that holds you back, success stops being a struggle. It becomes a natural outcome.